Hello, everyone. I just want to encourage anyone that's going through a hard time and doesn't feel God there. God is there. He is there with you. A lot of times we go through hard times. We go through really hard things, and I've experienced this personally, where I've gone through in the past few years some really hard times, and they weren't necessarily a result of my own doing. They were just kind of life. Um, and I felt a lot of times like, where is God? I just didn't feel His presence. And sometimes when that happens, we might be concerned: is there something wrong with me, or why isn't God here to help, or like what is going on? Um, we're just confused, you know. Um, and I want to encourage you guys: God is there. Like, God is there with you. He loves you, and run to Him. Run to Him. Pour out your heart before Him. Tell Him how hard it is not feeling His presence. It's not His fault that you don't feel His presence. It's not your fault either that you don't feel His presence. Sometimes life is so hard. The cloud is so thick that you're just confused. Just confused. I've experienced that where I'm so confused. That and so just like like cloud is so thick, that you're just like, what is going on? Where is God? Or one thing was really worried about is there something wrong with me? Do I not love God? Um, is there am I not saved? What's going on? Um, and I want to encourage you guys, like, God is there with you. And I know are a lot of people who used to be Christian and are not anymore. Um, they're like, feel hurt that God wasn't there for them in hard times. And honestly, I understand feeling like, where's God? During the hard moments, being like, I don't feel God's presence, and whether that you attribute that to being your own fault or God's fault, really, it's neither. It's neither. Hard things happen, and those hard things are not sent from God. Like there's some instances in the Bible where God will send. There's some instances, very rare, where God will send something to, like, build your faith or something. God will send, like, a trial to build your faith or something. But I feel like most of the hard things that happen to us are just life. God didn't have any, like, intention for that happening. You know, whatever it is, like, God didn't have an intention for that happening. He doesn't want that to happen to you. It was just life happening. Just the way you don't want that to happen. God didn't want that to happen. He didn't send that. He wants to comfort you in that. He didn't send that. He wasn't like, all right, like, this is part of my plan for you. Like, yes, God, in a certain sense, you could say God has a plan for us. Like, it's true. But that doesn't mean He planned out what events will happen in our life. Like, it does. Like, God didn't, like, set up hardships for us through life. That's not how. Like, some people say that God has, like, basically, but like, say that God basically has, like, a map for us, like, basically that we, like, go through a certain path during life. And to some extent that's true, but that's not really true, because it's not fully true, because God didn't plan all the hardships. Just like there are multiple things that are right to do. Like, for example, um, if I want to be, like, preaching and reading the Bible, those are two different things. Those are both right to do. So if I decide right now to go, I don't know, witness to somebody, um, whether I decide to witness to somebody or go read my Bible, like, both of those are right. There's not one right and one wrong. They're both right to do. So sometimes the path God has for us, I feel, isn't necessarily like an every inch step of the way. Like, it's not like you're gonna do this, then that, then that, then that. God doesn't have a plan for us. Like in a sense, I feel like when God sets things up, we're not a video game God's playing. We're God's children. So yes, God has a plan for us, but it's not a video game. It's kind of like it's an abstract thing to think about. It's like, it's really hard to comprehend. God did not plan every instance out. The bad things that are happening to you are not necessarily part of God's plan. Like, they're not sent by God. Um, So just like, I want to put that out there because a lot of people feel very hurt. Like, why did God send this? Why is this happening? Why did God send this? Or why did God allow this? Like once again, God's not playing a video game. We're not like characters in God's video game. So it's not, there's no, in a hard situation, there's no instant fix button. But there are two things we can do in a hard situation. One is pour out our heart before God. You can just go to God. Even if you're like, I don't feel His presence, remember, He cares for you, He loves you. Just pour it to God. Tell Him how hard it is that you don't feel His presence at that moment. Tell Him how hard it is what you're going through. He loves you. And just like the best parent would, He wants to comfort you, and He feels for you. He knows what it's like going through hard times. Jesus Christ came and He died for us on the cross. He knows what it's like to go through really hard times. So, and on top of that, like, He created us, so He knows, like, He created feelings, you know? So, like, He created our ability to feel good or whatever. So He knows what it's also like to feel bad, you know? But at the same time, God didn't, like, set that all up, you know? The bad things happening to you is not set up by God. It's just life. And another misconception sometimes people have a hard time with is, like, preachers will sometimes say, some preachers will say, like, just trust God. Like, literally, don't do anything else. Just trust God. There are a few times in the Bible where God told people, hey, you're not going to have to worry about this. I'm going to take care of it. You're not going to have to worry about this at all. I will just take care of it for you. I will just protect you. I will just totally take care of it. But most of the time, like on a day-to-day basis, most of the time, there's like action for us to take. Like, we're human beings. We live on this earth, and like, this is life. Like, there's stuff for us to, like, actions to take. If you're in a bad situation, there's actions to take. And so some preachers or some people will say, like, no, don't take that action. Don't do anything about the situation you're in. Just trust God. You know, allow others to be mean to you. And honestly, there's sometimes somebody yells at you, you could have a little long suffering. There's other times that the person yelling at you is much bigger than you, or is bullying you. Those are times that you don't just trust God. Yes, trust God. Trust God to give you the strength to take the action you need. Not trust God to just, like, because then, in that case, you'll probably end up really upset. You'll probably be like, why didn't God do anything? And it's like, well, that was actually a misconception. A preacher said that you can't take action. That's not what God said. And when I say preacher, I'm not saying preachers are bad. That's not at all what I'm saying. Just to make that clear. But there are a lot of different kinds of preachers, and some preachers say things that are not biblically correct. So I just want to put that out there. Like, trust God, and you can trust God even when you don't feel Him there. He loves you. He feels for you. It's not His fault. It's not your fault that you don't feel Him there. It's not His fault that you don't feel Him there. It's not your fault that you don't feel Him there. It's just life. It's just hard things happening. And sometimes there's action to take. And, you know, trust God that He will give you the strength to take those actions. But don't fall into the trap of what some people would say, just trust God and don't do anything. There's sometimes action to take. Obviously, if you're unable to take action, that's a big time God will just do the action for you. You know what I mean? Like, there are times people are like, there's literally nothing I can do. And either God will give them the strength to take that action, or sometimes God will just take care of it. But sometimes, like, we live in life, like, there's no instant fix button. But yeah, even if you're going through a really hard time, I've experienced this, going through really hard times. I'm like, where is God? I don't feel Him. I don't feel His comfort. But I know God was with me through those times, and He carried me through. And at the end, He showed me that He was there all along. When the cloud dispersed, so I could finally, you know, feel His presence, He showed me that He was there with me all along, you know. And so I just want you guys to remember that, like, He's there with you even if you're having a really hard time. Like, He's there with you. even if you don't feel Him there. And sometimes there's action to take. Trusting God doesn't imply you don't take action. But do trust God. Trust God to give you the strength to take the actions. Take the action that needs to be taken related to the situation you're in. And also, pour out your heart to God. Just tell Him how hard it is. And even if you feel like God's not present, He will still hear you. He will still hear you. He will help you. He will give you comfort. You may not always feel that comfort right away. Sometimes the cloud is just so thick you don't feel the comfort right away. But He cares about you, and He loves you, and He will bring you through. So, yeah, just wanted to encourage you guys. It's something I've experienced. I think a lot of people experience that. So I just want to encourage you guys about that. Trust the Lord. Also take the action related to the situation. Pour out your heart before God. Remember, He's there and He loves you.